Hello everybody, Kemo Sabi here, coming at you with another video. So it's been a while, and I figured today, instead of going with anything current or mainstream, we'll flip over to something interesting. You could say conspiracy, whatever, but I'll just read over it and see what you think. From Total Disclosure, that webpage, Chris Cornell, Silenced, number 1, by Alessandro, published August 16th, 2020, under Human Trafficking, Louder Than Love, and 14 comments on the thread. So note, these are not deep dives, but a brief description of what happened to these people and why they were murdered. Deep dives are way more extensive, and in due time I'll publish them for Chris and others. Chris Cornell was murdered on May 17, 2017 in Detroit, Michigan. He's known as the singer of the bands of Soundgarden, Audio Slave, and the Temple of the Dog. Chris worked with several charities helping children, including in Haiti, during the Clinton Foundation debacle. His foundation assisted vulnerable children, and he visited a refugee camp in Greece a few weeks before passing. Chris also delivered a report to the United Nations on child sex trafficking affecting refugees at the same time. He worked with Chester Bennington, Anthony Bourdain, Brad Pitt, and Rick Rubin on his charity Luminary Lane, a name reminiscent of Lane Stanley, his deceased friend and frontman for Alice in Chains. Susan Silver, his first wife, was a manager for both Alice in Chains and Soundgarden. He found a black book containing a list of addresses where children were delivered for sex trafficking or worse. The Black Book included several of his acquaintances, actors and musicians he knew or worked with at some point. Unfortunately, these revelations were to be the least shocking for him. He discovered his wife, Vicky, was embezzling the funds of their foundation, funds meant to help children. Besides, she's involved in trafficking young women to Mykonos and Dubai for yakking, high-class prostitution. Her associates for these crimes are rumored to be her mother, Antonia Velisalidis, Anna Vissi, and Selena Dania Jenkins. Antonio pimped her daughter since she was minor to have her marry a rich man. That man was Chris Cornell. Suspects and accomplices. Chris Cornell and Vicky separated since early 2016. He lived in Florida and she lived with the kids in New York. The divorce was imminent and would have left Vicky with no money due to a prenup agreement. Add that to the revelations involving the paternity of their 2 children, Tony and Chris Jr. Vicky signed a deal with the devil and helped setting up Chris for murder. She had 60 million reasons to do it. The love was long gone. The love was never mutual. It was all on Chris's side. The main suspect of the murder is South African Army grunt Martin Christian, with a history of blackmail and violence. Rumors linked him to Mossad's elite killing squads, and as an occasional driver for pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. He dated supermodel Heidi Klum, who worked for Lex Wexner, both involved in the Epstein debacle. Directly involved in the murder planning David Geffen, Ron Burkle, and Eric Estrelian. Courtney Love, barbiturates supplier, Linda Ramon, J.D. King, and Antonio Velisalidis are accomplices. People like Tom Hanks, James Franco, Jeremy Renner, Taylor Momsen, Courtney Love, Anna Vissi, Diana Jenkins, Billy Idol, Tom Morello, Brad Pitt, Henry Kissinger, Hillary Clinton, Ron Lafferty, Jared Leto, George Clooney, Mike Shinoda, Talinda Bennington, Eddie Vedder, Bono, Sting, Elton John, Darren McCallaghan, Shurg Tanakan, Guru Orsini, Nicholas Caravellas, and Lord Mandelson know about the murder. Some before others are the fact. Brad Pitt was gagged by the cabal, threatened with his family. He sheltered himself in alcohol after the murder. Silenced souls. Vicky has also taken legal and immoral actions against the band, Soundgarden, trying to steal their share of the last songs recorded. She went after Chris's daughter with Susan Silver, Lily Cornell, took her out of the will, and has isolated her from her siblings and events honoring her father. The person who has been closest to speak is Ben Shepherd. He and Chris Cornell were very close. He spoke out against the murder in private, but won't talk in public. Chester Bennington was looking into the murder until his death and had copies of the black book Chris was working on exposing. Katio Kahanwala, Anthony Bourdain, Kate Spade, Ines Zoragiati, and Avilisi suffered a similar fate. Chris Cornell died by strangulation. He had 9 broken ribs, uneven ligature marks, a bleeding head wound, and a torn suit. Suicide ligature marks are always even due to even pressure, all signals of a confrontation before his death as he fought for his life. He took 2 avian pills, nothing extraordinary, but then someone slipped a barbiturate substance into his drink. Drugs used as a scapegoat for suicide BS and to make him vulnerable to an attack. The bodyguard worked alone or assisted by the security guards dressed as policemen escorting them to the MGM. Witnesses recall Chris being annoyed at the presence of the fake cops, and one of them roughed him up before the show. This event caused his head wound to reopen. Vicky had hurt him a few nights earlier during their last confrontation. During Louder Than Love, I will destroy the timeline proving the preps are lying. I will expose testimonies by friends, musicians, family, intelligence, police officers, and others. The forensic analyst will be the last nail in the coffin for the killers. If you like my work, the Total Disclosure Network is a 100% independent media outlook. I focus on exposing child sex trafficking, pedophilia, tyranny, high-profile murders, and secret societies. Any person who uses mind control, child rape, blackmail, and other crimes to enforce their power from the shadows is a target. Dark to light. We are the news, we are the storm, louder than truth. If you want to help this website, please consider subscribing to the podcast and to become a self-sufficient mainstream media network with integrity. There is also merchandise. Apparently, I understand it may be inconvenient due to the nature of my work. Most standard donation channels are wary of us, and you can donate to them on their PayPal or whatever, or go get funding. Anyhow, hopefully you enjoyed this one. A little bit different. And, yeah. See what you think. Thanks a lot, everybody. Don't forget to hit that bell. Be great if you subscribe. Awesome if you leave some comments. Peace. Hopefully, well, see you in the next one, everybody.